So good evening, everyone. Very, very welcome. This is the another day of Business Analysis Scrum. And today we are going to talk about from where we started. But before we get started, let me ask you, tell me reason why we are here together. And we have one new member, but before he speaks, let me ask others. So one reason why we are here.
To get placed.
Exactly, that's the answer. Thank you, Sneha. So very core reason and very core intent is get placed. That's the goal, that's the purpose. Okay, eventually what happens, this gets faded away, this particular goal gets faded away, and we need to protect our goal. We don't need to let it fizzle out. So how do we protect that? We call it something as a code of honor, or our core values that we need to define first. Okay, and here for this particular track we have some core values, some code of honor. So let me ask you, before we get started about code of honor. Code of honor is something we must and must and must and must and must follow. Okay, we can't ignore it at any point of time. So that's the reason I'm sharing it. So I just shared the screen, and let me ask you, can you see the 6COH on the screen? Is it visible to you,
Yes.
everyone?
Yes, yes.
Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you so much. So here you see is this 6 code of honor, and we are quickly going to touch base this. So Prerna, I'm going to meanwhile make you co-host as well. So that, okay, can I make you? Uh, okay, you have joined in from laptop or some other device?
I am joining from laptop.
Okay.
I've joined from phone. Yeah. Give me 2 minutes.
Yeah, sure. No problem. Okay, so meanwhile, let's come back over here for code of honor. And yeah, you can see it now more visible. So what is the very first code of honor is? Now, what we are looking at is that about showing up live. Even though you can watch the recording, but even though if you are late enough, what you can do, or you are not just matching up with the team, what you can do, you can watch the recording, but still you can show up live after finding yourself that you have speeded up. Why you need to show up live? And while you are going to be show up live, remember to be on time, be punctual, highly committed. So why you need to do so? Because there is another universal law uh, is attached with this, which is called as what how you do anything is how you do everything. So showing up live, being on time, remaining highly committed and punctual is something that you are practicing over here once you get placed in corporate of America. So remember this universal law, how you do anything is how you do everything, learned by one of my mentor. Second one is something we call it that because in Guru schools you have started with the 6 pillars, and the very first pillars is instructor led free training. So this is free training. I welcome you all and appreciate your time and commitment to be over here. And on this note, because you are learning, you are a student, and when you are a student you need to be a full stack student. So full stack student comes with responsibilities and comes with some commitment. And what are those? So those are these: doing all the assignment, and apart from what you have learned, you need to do research on that. Okay, so that is also we call it as a as a part of full stack student. And remember to repeat what you have learned. So recently everyone is watching that how everyone is coming up with a short summary of videos of what you have learned. So I would really like to appreciate you all for the way you are delivering what you have learned, and every time you are improvising it. So really I would like you all to unmute yourself and let's applaud for yourself. So at the count of three, let's begin, unmute and applaud. 1, 2, 3, and applaud. Thank you so much, Prajakta, Disha, and Sneha,
Superb
and
done.
Radha,
Superb.
and
Yeah, very well.
everyone. Thank you so much for the way you are delivering, and you need it. So why you need it, we will see it as a part 6 of this code of honor. Okay. So third one is that taking the full responsibility, like the way you are improvising yourself and delivering what you are delivering, you must take the full responsibility of what the research you have been doing or whatever you are learning, that will lead towards the success. But when you don't do so, it also leads towards failure. So there are two type of people. They say that things are automated, or things, you don't have a control on things, then what to take, why to take effort? That's true. There is no control of yours on others thing, then why to do? So remember the student who practice and gain great marks, he gets good result. Remember the student who does not do any practice and does not do any take any effort, he also gets the result. But the difference is that the person who does not practice and gain the result, he gains the result which is called as zero. But the moment he takes the responsibility of that, along with that, he recommit to himself to correct that failure. And the moment he takes the responsibility of failure, the failure itself become the trail for this success what he is going to attract. So remember, if you do something, that will lead you towards the success, but when you don't do, that lead you towards the failure. So also take the responsibility of failure if you foresee. Okay. The fourth one, let's move there. And what is that? Let's know. So on this, and how you take the responsibility of these success and failure, for that you must have very strong and robust mindset towards learning. And when you are learning, there is no room for complaint. So remember to make yourself complaint free and have a super duper positive mindset. And when you are tending to having a super duper positive mindset, remember to load yourself with the gratitude every single day. And for that, you will have to increase your receptivity every single day. That is the fifth code of honor. And how you do that? So for that, I have given you a wonderful audio of strangest secret. You can ask me if you don't have yet, and I'll give it to you. And that strangest secret audio, every day Earl himself says that at least you need to listen to it thrice in a day. And not thrice in a day. If you can make it, then I tell you that at least make it once in a day. And then you will start seeing the kind of value you are intending, or you are storing as an intent once you get placed to serve your company wherever you are going to work. That brings more and more intentional value to you. And when you will have this, money will be their byproduct. Okay. And then the second one is, when we are here together learning how to add value and all, remember to start your learning by following golden quadrant of learning. And what is that? Golden quadrant of learning always start with declaration. Okay. You declare, you learn, you draw, and you summarize. And the declaration does not come alone. It requires, it requires an anchor. So why anchor is needed? Anchor is something, when you leave a ship, in the sea, then it may not stand and focused at one place. Okay. If at night, or some for during the time of taking rest, what is done with the ship may wander somewhere. Okay. If you not put an anchor, this ship may sink as well. But to hold that ship stand tall, Miss Captain come with anchor, and anchor is something which holds this ship focused completely during the time of the rest. And what happens here, when we are learning here together, your mind may also sink if you don't put an anchor there. It may wander. Okay, and for that, very powerful, anchor we have, and that anchor we start with clap, and clap is just like a self hi-fi, and we will declare with this clap is self anchor, self hi-fi, and with this clap what we are going to do, we are going to utter this. Okay, so the statement what you see on the screen, so for that we are going to put the anchor. So at the count of 3, let's clap and then read after me, uh, what I am going to read on the screen. So are you all ready for this declaration? Yes?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Thank you. Thank you so much. So 1, 2, 3, and clap and begin. I am a quick learner.
I am
I
a
am a
quick
quick
learner.
learner.
What others can learn and master,
What
What
others can learn and master,
Master.
I too can do that.
I too
I
can
too
do
can
that.
do that.
Brilliant. And once again, the second line, once again, with this anchor, with this self hi-fi, at the count of 3, you will begin after me. 1, 2, 3, and clap. Because I'm an awesome learner,
Because I am an awesome learner,
Awesome learner.
today's learning is going to be super duper easy to me.
today's
Today's
learning
learning
Is going to be super duper easy to me.
easy to me.
Thank you. Yes, it is going to be super duper easy because you have said so. And especially when you put the anchor, that becomes the statement becomes more powerful and obedient for you. And on this entire journey, remember to be a giver, because you are on the path of learning. You need to follow. And for doing so, you will have to keep your ego away. Then only you can even do this anchoring part. Otherwise, you don't tend to, you become I understand that you come with a lot of educational background, and it is very easy to consider yourself that I know everything. But still, the major wisdom is knowing that what we don't know, and we are not accepting something into that as well. So what we are not doing, so the moment we realize that, that leads the first step towards the knowing that. And why I'm saying so, because that only is the knowledge of the ego. Okay, that makes the great learner. And while you are doing so, that also keep you more spiritually grounded. And when you are feeling that you are spiritually grounded, have an intent to do the charity. Charity is the spiritual practice. When I say so, why you need to do this and why you need to know this. So if you are already earning member in your family, or you have not started earning, have this intent that once I'll start earning, I'll give back 5% on 10% of whatever I earn, because that sets the context. Once you get placed, that what kind of money you want to attract, because when you receive you may survive, but when you give you grow. And here, not only with the intent to grow, you need to start doing this service, but also to inspire others. So remember this. And while you are doing this, remember to appreciate what you do, what others do for you. And even something doesn't happen to you, because every single step is preparing you to the next brighter step. And when you appreciate, that appreciates you back. So hope you have understood this code of honor. And we are getting into the transition of the main content now. And for that, before that, I want you to agree to follow this code of honor of giving and receptivity and mindset and taking full responsibility and being the full stack student and always show up live. Because I asked you to when what you do, how you do anything is how you do everything. So if you have understood it, just keep your right palm on your heart and say that I agree to follow code of honor. I agree to follow.
I
Follow.
agree to follow
I-
the code of honor.
Code of honor.
Thank you. Thank you so much. So we have one new member. So let's welcome him. So Amin is there with us. Amin, a very, very good evening. So welcome to this Be Agile Scrum track. So if you can hear us, just quickly, you can introduce about yourself. Who are you? What do you do? From where you are connecting, and your core intent to join it.
All right, guys. I had a master's in MIS, but I worked in the hospitality field. And
Mhm.
right now I'm trying to go back into the IT field.
Do you have
So
any
that's,
also background in IT? Any education, any slight knowledge in IT?
I have a master's in MIS, Information Systems Management.
Mhm. That's wonderful. So
Yeah.
great. And how long you have worked in the market, Amin? Already?
Hospitality, 12 years.
Okay, hospitality 12. Thank you so much, Amin, for sharing. So I would suggest that now you have also understood code of honor. You continue to matching up the thing. So and then you can join back again, Amin. So thank you so much now. Okay.
Oh,
All right. So let's move to the main content. Welcome, Amin. So yes. So we were listening stakeholder management. So we were just remembering that, and we were just undergoing this stakeholder management. I remember that last time Prerna had talked about this. So Prerna, can you? Okay, everyone, can you see the screen that is with that
Yes,
is
Gaurav.
okay?
Yes,
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 it's
yes.
okay, it's visible. So fine. So for everything we have so far now seen, the flow is there. Okay. So here for stakeholder management also, you there is some process. How do you manage stakeholder? So the very first thing is identifying the stakeholders, and uh, they they need something. Okay, they understand the requirement, and those requirement you need to understand. Okay, and when we are talking about the requirement always arise with two things. One, with identifying the problem, and also identifying the change. So do you remember what you are going to do the moment you are going to see or hear or identify the change? What will be the very first thing you will do once you will see the change, or you when you can see the change? So will it be good for you or will it be bad for you, everyone?
Good. Always good.
Always good, because thank you so much for answering, because that brings lot of revenue for your company, and eventually for you as well. So that you need to identify, and these changes and these requirement also and these goal also you need to document, and the same thing is going to go with by identifying these stakeholders. Once that happens, you need to analyze the influence and interest they have in the market. Okay, or in the market they have upon. Okay, and once that is done, then you also set the expectation, and you can take a note of it. Okay, once expectation is very very clear, that is the time you can take the action, and then you review and repeat what you have done. Okay, so it's a simple flow. The keywords are identifying the stakeholder. And do you know so far who are the stakeholders called? You have learned about it, right, everyone?
Yes, yes,
Yeah.
yes.
So very
Oh,
very
I will.
much, yeah, you are very very much clear about.
Yes.
yeah. Hey, hi, Gaurav. As Amin is new, I thought we can just have no, I can have a brief introduction about stakeholder management that we had last week. Is that okay? So that will be like a quick review.
Sorry, Prerna, I was sneezing out, so could not speak up. So yeah,
No worries. No worries. Yeah.
no,
I was just thinking you can go to the slide and I can give a quick brief intro about stakeholder management that we had last time. So
yeah,
Amin
yeah.
can pick it up from there, right? Thank you so much.
So Amin has just now dropped. I had requested him to come
Okay.
back here for Code of Honor because he is listening to recordings. So still,
Okay. So will he be joining here or not?
no, he won't join back. So
Okay, fine.
he
Then
will
fine. Then
joining
fine.
back in the next batch. So I
Okay,
think
great.
there
Then
they
it's
should.
fine. Then we can continue. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. You want me to take this?
Next slide. Yeah, definitely. This slide is done. So you can take the next
Okay.
slide.
Okay.
So I'm just flipping on that. So yes, over to you, Prajakta. Sorry, Prerna.
Yes. So I just want each one of you. Yeah, your screen has changed. I can't see. Oh,
Let me reshare. There is some problem with my screen. Just give me a
okay.
sec. Mm-mm. Okay, I can't help it out, but I'll share the screen as a whole because whenever I'm clicking on the tool, what is going to happen? This flips back. So yeah,
Okay. Yeah.
screen has
Thank
it.
you. Thank you. Yes. So I'll request Prajakta, Aparmita, Disha, Elizabeth, Radha, Ruby, Sharda, Sneha, and everyone. If I've missed any, I don't think so. You'll have to read out each point. I'm just starting with the heading that the 7 principles of stakeholder management are. So basically, these principles highlight action words that illustrate the spirit that should be used in engaging with stakeholders. So basically, these are the qualities or these are the action words that we should be using while dealing with stakeholders. Now, please, every one of you just start reading one by one. What is it?
Acknowledge,
Mm-hmm. Next.
monitor,
Okay.
Listen.
Okay. That's fine. We both can talk. It's just one more word. Yeah. Then.
Communicate.
communicate,
Uh-huh.
Adopt,
Right.
recognize,
Okay. Second last.
walk,
Work.
Okay. And last.
Avoid.
Okay. So what does these 7 word means? Most of them are pretty easy to understand English words, but then we are learning about these words in context of stakeholder. So when we say acknowledge, it means we have to acknowledge the stakeholders and understand what they're trying to say. Acknowledge has a very good in-depth meaning. That means you're not just there, you're acknowledging what the other person wants. You're trying to understand their needs and requirements and try to work towards that as well. Okay, so that is where the acknowledge comes in. Monitor, what do you mean when you say we monitor or we have to monitor something? What does that idea give you? It's just a very easy, simple word. Anybody? Oh, it's an open forum.
supervise,
Okay.
uh,
And why do we supervise?
everything is going in the right direction. I mean,
Yes, very well. Right. It's absolutely right, on point. So basically, monitor means, see, when we have kids at home, we have that monitoring, video, or we have a constant supervision. Like, okay, are they sleeping? Are they playing peacefully, or aren't they eating anything out of the, on the floor or something like that? So you're just having a continuous observation and a continuous, looking at the situation. So from our point of view in stakeholder management, it simply means that you are very much present in the situation and you're monitoring what are their asks. Okay. The next is listen. So now that's a very good point. Even as a as any employee or team member, this is one of the best qualities we can cultivate and we can have. That during discussions with internal teams, with vendors, with stakeholders, with customers, as a BA, as a Scrum Master, our listening abilities have to be at par, and they have to be very effective, so we can understand what the other party or what the customer is trying to say. Okay. Many a times during meetings, we are just there actively to respond, okay, to just talk or to present. But the aim is to be a good listener. When we listen to them, when we listen to their queries, we understand from where they come from, what are their requirements, and what are their needs and what are they expecting from us. So listening is overall very, very good and very important quality. Communicate. What does communicate mean to you? Yes. What do you mean when we say communicate? And as a woman, or as women, communication is very important for us, right? So what do we say? What do we mean when we say communicate?
Satisfy
To
your
let
queries.
others know.
Sorry.
Satisfying your queries. If you have any doubts, and just ask.
Okay.
To let the other person know
And
what exactly you need.
okay, quite
Exchange
nicely
information.
mentioned.
What they
Exchange
want.
information.
What they want. What are the needs?
Let others know what's going on.
Okay, so
Providing the
basically to ensure
requirements or
that you
data information.
both of you or both the parties involved in discussion are on the same play page.
Hmm.
Isn't that simply means?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah, can we put into this way? That simply
Yes.
means that see, communication word is very tricky. When it's not mentioned talk, it's saying communication. It simply means whatever you're trying to share with them, discuss with them, they should be able to understand. There has to be a two-way communication. It's not like a monologue that you're talking, and there is no reception. It is definitely, a dialogue, a conversation, wherein whatever you're saying, they are able to understand that, they're able to receive that communication from you, right? So this is what it means when they say communication. Adopt. Okay, so adopt in this context means whatever the customer is asking, if that is viable, if that is within scope of your project, you adopt to new things like new technologies, you take new resources, you might take new methodologies, like for example, understand if the company is working on a typical waterfall methodology, okay, they are working on a old way of project development, and now they got a very big project, it's such scenario. The customer asks that we have to we want to work on this project in Scrum methodology, in Scrum style. Okay, so then as a company, as a development team, as an organization, because it's a very big project or it's a very good client, we definitely adopt to Scrum methodology. You see the difference here? Earlier you were not working on these pattern or this style, but now you're adopting, so it can be adopting of cloud technology, adopting of new ways of work, adopting of new ways of discussions. So you just change, adopt for better, for good. Okay, this is what it means when I say adopt. Yeah, recognize means you will have to recognize what are the customer needs, you have to identify and recognize them, acknowledge them after communicating. So these points are, see, all interlinked. You communicate with them, you monitor their actions, you listen to their queries, you listen to their demands, and then you definitely recognize. Recognize means yes, you agree that these are their asks, these are their requirements, and you will work on that, and you will consider this, consider that, your budget will be like that, your timelines will be this much, and then ultimately work work on it, because the main goal of the entire project execution is to work and deliver. So you work on it, and last but not the least, avoid. Okay, now this might seem why we have mentioned avoid. We have to cater to the customer, so we'll have to accept everything and all. uh Taken and agreed to an extent, but when there is what I would say project scope change, or when there is something that is out of the box, which is not acceptable, which might hurt your timelines, your deadlines, that time you simply have to avoid it. Avoid doesn't mean you just keep it away. Avoid simply means you communicate that with the customer, and you say, or in sometimes there might be some requirements from the customer which can result in too long delays. Okay, customer is asking for some look and feel change. They want to have some video images coming in, they have to want some effects, some things, and if it takes some really long time, or if it is affecting your timelines or budget, you can go to them, you can tell them this is this, it will take unnecessary time and this is not adding value to your project, and then you can definitely, once they agree, you can avoid that. So these are the basic, keywords, or basic, I would say, action items while dealing with the stakeholders. Any doubt in this, any of you? Because these are quite simple and easy to understand, but still I try to make it as comfortable for your understanding. Any doubts in this, guys?
No.
Any one of you? No.
But are there 7
No.
principles or are there 8 principles?
Are these 8? 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and yeah, these are 8, and it's been wrongly mentioned at 7. Very, very well noticed. Yeah. 8. Yeah. Guru, you want to add something here?
No, Prerna. So that's fine. So it might be typo. Thank you so much for identifying this as 8. So this is 8, and now we will move to, now it has become 78. So yeah. So yes.
Yes.
So yeah, thank you so much, Sneha. And let's move to the next. To know about this stakeholder management also needs some skills. What are those? So we will see in the next slide. So these are this. So yeah, so everyone is knowing about it. So communication, someone asked what is means Prerna asked and someone answered various ways. Okay, so communication is just sharing a message between two devices. The devices could be the person as well. Okay, so the message, when it is transferred from one location to another location, so there is a sender, there is a receiver, and when acknowledged, communication establishes. Okay, so that is communication. Then planning. You must have a planning skill for stakeholder management, and expectation. So stakeholder expectation management is another skill that you need to also manage the expectation, because I love this when Prerna emphasize especially that your client may ask for, stars and moon. You should know what you can deliver, and you should communicate that then and there. Okay, while these all are happening, leadership is the another approach, another skill that you need to master on this path. And negotiation is definitely a skill. While people are asking you star and moon, that time you can negotiate, hey, we have agreed to deliver on this, we will be delivering on this, and something with advancements, surprises, not surprises especially, but things should be doable, what we have agreed and what we have talked in the contract. So it should be matching with that. And there you find that requirement is fulfilled. You should have the art of project management, and you can assess them well, and thereby you can master the skill of problem solving. So yes, Prerna, over to you if you want to add something over here on this slide.
Guru, I'm fine, because many of the things we have already discussed, like
Yes.
communication, planning, and problem solving. So yeah, we can move to next slide, please.
Super. So while this is happening, we have just now talked about information in a communication. Then do you know that that information also needs to be managed? How it is going to happen? So this is going to happen in a cycle. So let's understand what is information management cycle then. So here you see that the 5 keys to information management is leadership, operations, processes, data, and technology. So these are main asset, or these are main element of this information management. So there should be a leadership team, or someone who can lead this information management system. There should be operation at place where in absence of people, data or information can be managed by itself, and there should be a process that how an information will evolve and how it will scale. Okay, and then how you are going to manage this data, and are you going to reuse them in some technology. So these are the 5 keys to information management you must be knowing, or you should be knowing, I would say. So what are those steps, what are those life cycle, I would say, for any information management is there. The very first thing is that you manage that, sorry, you plan that. Okay, how, but while you're planning, once you have planned, you will collect them, you will receive them, and you will create them. Okay, and then you will authorize, you identify the quality of those data or those information, and then you will have to determine the access where you can have a access where you can store them. Okay, and when you can store them, you must have you must come up with the organizing of those data or information, and there you need to master organizing file, and those file can be well documented and described somewhere. Why? Because even to information we protect them, and to protect them, those protection information has to be also stored and has to be described to them who has got the access of it. Okay, and when you are storing them, you must also have the backup of it, because sometime when you lose it, this is the backup which is going to help you. Okay, and then you analyze it further, and then you can share it, and once it is shared widely or shared with the intended location or with intended person, then you can either dispose it or destroy it. So this is the complete life cycle. You can understand as an information how it emerged, evolved, and scale. Okay, so this is about information management. So for information management also, there is information management body of knowledge, which we call it as IMBOK. So IMBOK knowledge areas and information management has got process. As you have just now seen that in any project of information technology, it has to be systemized. And why it has to be systemized? Because after systemizing, it identifies the changes, and the changes can be incorporated into the business processes. And why into business processes? Because that defines and simplify the operation, so that you can it can yield much more benefits, and the more benefits will have, the more strategy you will come up with. Okay, and if you can come up with the more strategy, then your business and the business management itself will perform at its peak. So that's the flow. You must remember. If you want, you can take a screenshot of it. So now understand more detail in the information management, that the knowledge areas include information management knowledge area we were talking about. It includes a few elements which is related to IT. Just now we have touched base. IT comes with hardware and software, and information system when we are talking. So always the IT hardware and software is built into a system that meets the business needs and policy. And also the simplicity and user friendliness is the key for this information system, so that it can be used. And again, the business information which is created by analyzing and contextualizing data using tools such as in the information system. So information system itself is a vast word, and when you break it down, you can come up with the actual tools that can be helpful for organizing these business information, and that helps into improvising the business processes. So how to evaluate and use this business information to make decision is the key of this business processes, so that you can lead towards the business benefit and the desired advantage the business information will provide for this specific specific business benefit. and thereby you can continue to improvise to have a better strategizing skill, and you can strategize better your business. So the master plan that gives a company uh, a direction, ideally a decision made through the business process. That's what it is written over here, which are based on business information, will guide the strategy and lead to the realization of the business benefit. So always remember, for any benefit, continuous strategizing is the key. So what is the keyword? Continuous strategizing. Okay, so always remember this. So even if you are trying or if you are planning to get placed, you must know and you must think that it is nothing but the strategy. Even if you are approaching towards any interview, or you are selecting any company wherein you want to get interviewed, again the complete strategy should be there, so that you can understand your own move, that what you all need to do. Maybe you will be visiting the LinkedIn profile, maybe you will be first going to the website to check that what exactly you need to know about the company, and then you also know the key stakeholder of that company. Thereby you will be knowing more in details about the company, in what domain they are into, and what they are working on. Maybe you will come to know that what kind of interview they are going to, what kind of question they might be asking, because what they are doing is most important right now. And those things are, even though most important, you will also understand uh, the key thing about this, that what is the new project there in the pipeline, and mainly they are looking for that. So yes, that is the key of this particular stuff of identifying the business need of the company wherein you are going, and that is your strategy to identify the company as well. Okay, so on this note, I would like to move and transition into the models. While these things are theory, we have understood so far, and I believe you are clear with it. Any question around this information management as well as business strategy and benefit we have been talking about? So can we move to the next? Is it yes?
Yes.
Thank you
Yes.
so
Yes.
much. Thank you so much. And here you see is about now business analysis model. So why do we require some models? So there is a simple meaning behind it. So you always need to first identify the process, and for identifying process, to mention the process, you need to write them. But when we are writing them, writing the processes, it sometimes can be lengthy and very big. So using modeling, you simply define the processes, and you can depict them through the design as nothing but the diagrams. We are talking about them as design. So you are going to depict the processes through diagrams. Okay, and there you are defining it, and that's the reason business analysis model comes into the picture. So how you can design then? Using business analysis model tools. What are those business analysis model tools? So here, what just now you have seen, there are few names. Activity diagram, we are going to look at it. Mind maps. Okay, so this is something, a tool which we use every single day in our class. So can someone tell me, have you seen the mind map? Anyone?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, do you see it every single day whenever we meet in the class?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, and when
Yes.
do you see that?
Code of honor.
Code of honor.
Exactly,
Code of honor.
exactly.
Yeah.
Thank you, everyone. That's true. So Ruby, to your friend, if you can pass this information, that No. So yeah, sorry, my mistake. I saw that her mic was mute and uh, okay. So I assume somehow that she is not able to hear this. So that's the
I
reason
can hear that.
yeah, Elizabeth, thank you so much.
I can hear.
Yeah. So yes, thank you for the confirmation. So yes, mind map every day you see, and then comes the product roadmaps. We will be getting into the details of it. Still, we have covered it in the past. Then comes SWOT analysis and fishbone diagram and the process flow diagram, and there are much more. So there are multiples. Okay, there are multiple, but we have tried to touch base a few. Okay, so then comes visual modeling, workflow diagram, entity relationship diagram, work breakdown structure, conversion to design, documents template, and understanding. Okay. So while these are there, uh, one tool which I am going to tell you. So maybe you guys are working. So let me take it in the presentation mode. So while you are working, okay, in enhancing your resume, in resume you might have mentioned about what about diagrams, and while you have mentioned, you might have mentioned about the tool also, where you can design some diagram. So one tool you simply use and mention is Visio, but you can take a note of it. So one another tool which is lucidchart.com. So can you take a note of it? It's a lucid chart diagram. It's a lucidchart.com where you can go and you can create all these diagrams for free for now. Okay. And then the very first diagram which we are talking over here is activity diagram. Now, whatever the diagram we have talked about, so there should be some foundation of it. And do you know, for maximum diagrams, there is a foundation, is something which we have learned generally during our school days, is a flow chart. How many of you are knowing what is flow chart? Okay, so let me ask you differently. How many of you don't know what is flowchart is? Okay, don't know. If you don't know, means you know. So thank you so much for your responses. So yes, let's move back and understand this now, that for every diagram, if flowchart is the base, then any diagram will be easy to draw. Okay, so first we are talking here is about an activity diagram of an ATM processes, and here we are identifying the process. Here we are depicting the process for customer, for machine itself, and for the bank. What exactly happened? So this dot, and there will be one more dot. Let me go over there. So this dot and the last dot, what you see, so first dot is just a dot, and another dot is in the circle. Okay, so these are depicting to start and end. Okay, the complete dot is the start button, and the dot in a circle is just a indication towards the end. So what exactly happens? Customer first insert the ATM card, which gets validated. So now ATM is coming inside the ATM column. Okay, so it gets validated, and once it gets validated, you will know that whether it is valid or whether it is invalid. So what you see in the diamond shape is called decision node. Okay, so when it is invalid, you are forced to remove the card, and then you take the card out and stop the process. Stop. Otherwise, when it is authenticated and it is valid, it moves to the next step, and where it is asked to enter the password. Okay, so first the card will be read well, and then it will be prompting you for the password. Then password is authenticated by PIN issued from your bank, and if the pin is valid, then the next process happen. Otherwise it will come towards eject the asking you to eject the card. Just give me a second. Yeah, come towards the eject the card, and then you take your card out and it ends the process. Otherwise, if it is validated after pen, it will ask you to enter the amount. And when you will enter the amount, even before you can withdraw the amount, it checks the balance. And if there is insufficient balance, then it will move and share you the message that insufficient balance or no balance. Then you are forced to eject the card, you take the card out, and it ends the process. Otherwise, what is going to happen, if sufficient balance is there, then you take your money from the account. Okay, take money from the slot. Okay, you enter the amount how much you want to enter. You have already entered, now balance has been checked. If balance is there, then what is going to happen, you take the money out, and then the money will be debited from your account. And once debit is done, the cash is there in your hand, then you can then what is going to happen is yeah, so what is going to happen then, okay, yeah, it shows you the final balance, and then you are forced to eject the card, and you take your card out, and the process ends. So this is how activity diagram is designed. There are some input, there are some output. For that, there is a rectangular shape, and before this input and output, there are various steps and stoppages where you take a decision. Those are in the diamond shape mentioned, and there is a path defined for if and otherwise, if something does not happen in favor or in favor. Okay, so those are also mentioned, and how it is starting and how it is stopping. The same thing you can also design in lucidchart.com, and this is where it is it is recorded, or it is designed. Okay, any question in this activity diagram?
No.
Okay,
No.
so if not, then we are moving to the next diagram. Prerna, do you want to take this one? Mind map?
Mm.
Hello.
You can go ahead with mind map.
Okay. Yes, Ruby. You have any question, Ruby?
Yeah, so I just wanted to know, like, I mean, the activity diagram that you showed us, like something like this can even be like easily created in PowerPoint, right? So why are we
Yeah.
like using something like all this like fancy stuff? I'm sorry,
No, it's not
it just
fancy.
like a common sense question that came to me
Yes,
that,
yes.
I mean, this is so simple, like it can be like created in, a PowerPoint as well.
Yeah, definitely. So there is no hard and fast rule that you need to refer only the lucid chart, or you need to only refer to the Visio diagram. What you can easily create over here in PowerPoint, if you think that is more easy for you. So there is a no force that you need to use this tool only. Okay, so you
Gaurav,
can.
I would like to add here because
Yeah.
I have faced this in my personal experience. It was Ruby, right? Ruby or Sneha? Who was it?
Ruby.
Yeah.
Yeah, means basically like I want to just understand that what is it that lucid
Yes.
chart will like, allow
Yes.
you
I
to do
just want to
extra,
add.
which
I
the
just want to add
PowerPoint.
here. Yeah. So basically, you know what? When we use PowerPoint and stuff, it's a lot handy when you have like pictures, images, maybe what I would say, uh, uh, words, and all that thing is very comfortable in that. Okay, no worries. You can definitely create nice presentations and stuff like that. But when it comes to diagrams and all, na, it is not that handy. As in, here in Lucid charts or other charts, and this Video.io and stuff. This is the arrows, the shapes. It's just a drag and drop. Gaurav, correct me if I'm wrong. It's very easy. It's very comfortable for you to create such diagrams, flow charts, and stuff like that, which is not as convenient in PPT. You can definitely create, but then it will be a lot of efforts if you have to put into that way. Trust me, I've worked on that. So instead of that, PPT we strictly or we majorly use for presentations for basic having this small data, and we prefer making flow charts and all in these kind of sites or applications, and include that in PPT. So if you ask me, it's ease of use, and lot of ready-made functionality, like the different variety of shapes and arrows and flows, and it is very fun to play with. Also, I have myself have prepared many flows earlier, so I know the difference and the advantages. That's it, Gaurav, over to you.
Yeah. So ultimately, there is no hard and fast rule that you have to use this only. So it's also about that when you will use something new. So what is going to happen? You need understand the user friendliness, and you can compare that what is missing in that tool is available over here. So as Prerna also mentioned just now, it's also about ease of use. Some shapes you will see that you don't need to adjust them in the alignment. It just gets adjusted. Okay, you don't need to play on the putting them on the right direction or something. Sometimes you just click them and it appears. So and there are various such tools, right? So now why such question comes in? Okay, this is just common sense. Then why need to go to lucid chart or something? Because we have not used them. That's a common question that we will ask, and this is a human based question, that of course why to go ahead and do something new when something existing is there. Okay, there are two more reasons behind it. One is that understand this, we are going to talk more about it. Something new mind does not want to try. Okay, why? Because that takes mind forces mind to come out of the comfort zone. And remember, mind is a survival entity, and it wants to follow the process only. Okay, it does not want to come out of the shell or out of the box. And everyone's mind want to be in the comfort zone. It's not only your mind, it's everyone's mind. Even my mind always want to be in the rest mode and don't want to worked out. Okay, don't want it to work out more and exhaust more, because this is something it feels that it is dying. Okay, so that's why it will discard any new coming in on the way. Okay, but the moment it adopts the new, it adopts the changes, it sees the benefit, then again it will come back and take the credit, because I took the effort and work on it, and that's why I'm ready to master it. Okay, so now again this is on the wills of the person, that whether he choose to follow this into lucid chart or visio or in ppt or in word. So it's all the liberty is there. But again, when you will use lucidchart.com, you will see the easiness and user friendliness. That is it, nothing hard and fast rule. Do
So
you
can I
get
add
that?
something?
Yeah, go ahead.
In Lucid Chart, also the entire team can collaborate at once.
Yeah,
If I
even
want, yeah, two people, three people can make changes together.
yes. And also, do you know that even in ppt 2-3 people can collaborate? Okay, but again it's all about how, what do you know, how do you know? Okay, so yes, so this is again the easiness. So so this is on the cloud based. Okay, so that is more easily accessible. What we are talking about even on ppt, so in ppt that is on the workstation, and it has to be connected through the intranet, through the internal network. Okay, then one can access the one ppt at the same time. Okay, so there are some limitation, there are some easiness, and thank you so much for sharing this. This is really additional information, means useful information for everyone, I would say. Okay, so is it okay now? Can we move to the next one? Yes, Ruby,
Sure, sir.
do you have still question?
No.
Okay, so we'll move to the next one. Mind map. Now, mind map is something, see, understand the central idea has to be always there in the center. And it will have always some right and left. Okay, some branches. And every branches will have the multiple nodes. And that we can describe like this. Okay, what do you see? Left and right. And what we have, we can also adjust this mind map at any way how do we want it. Sometimes we keep the main idea at the center, and we keep on expanding the right nodes and their children and their children and their children and their children. Okay, and sometimes we don't wish to expand the left side, But when the nodes are expanding, we can spread at multiple sites. So again, you organize your idea using mind map. So this is what it is. Any question in the mind map so far? So there are multiple tools for the mind map. You can use it. Yep. So can we go move to the next tool?
Yes.
Sir,
Thank
I
you.
want to ask one thing. So how we will decide that when we have to use the mind maps and which tools has to be used for what?
Okay. So very simple. You don't have to decide when, as the name suggests, mind map. So why mind map? Mind map because when you see that lot of thoughts are there, okay, lot many things are there which requires to be organized and it requires to be dumbed out. Okay, you have lot many idea coming up, and those are just stacking, and that requires management. Okay, simply come over here and dumb them out, and you can go on organizing. Okay, like we were talking about the communication. Okay, so the moment communication comes into the picture, we can type it here. Okay, communication, and there could be a communication tool. So communication tool is a presentation is a communication tool. Okay, apart from presentation, the moment you will write here presentation, Microsoft PowerPoint will be the presentation. Slido is the another presentation. Slides are one presentation. Even in slide you will have the various slide thing. So many idea will keep on popping up and you need to organize them. Okay, so mind map, the moment you listen mind map, your mind has to be mapped, and the moment mind is under confusion and filled up with lot of information, that time you can use this mind map. Okay, so for any problem you can, for anything in fact, you can use the mind map. Okay, first the thought has to be organized. Even to understand the question is there, if the question is there, you can use the mind map. Now write down why we need to mind map. Okay, so mind map need, the moment you will write, you will come up the answer. So you yourself will come up with the answer. Yeah, the mind map itself will tell you why it needs to be used, and that time you will also understand when the activity diagram is there, some activities are there that has to undergo into the diagram, that you are going to write into activity diagram. So to answer you in a one word or one statement, general answer is, the moment mind is cluttered, it requires clarity, and for that mind map is the best tool. So do you get that, Sneha?
Yes.
It's an information management tool, you can say, mind map. Cool.
Mhm.
So mind map is very useful. In fact, you can use for anything. And further, mind map can be a transition into even the activity diagram. There will be a time when with the mind map, we are talking about what all are related with one idea. And then you tend to start working on some idea, then you move towards the how. And the moment you are identifying the how, and you have defined 5 steps of how, so 5 steps has come on the how. Now those 5 steps can be the part of activity diagram. Okay, so do you get that? So mind map will first stabilizes all the thoughts, organizes all the thoughts, and then the moment it comes toward the action can be jotted down inside the activity diagram. Clear?
Oh, yeah. Got it now. Thank you.
Yeah,
Yeah.
welcome. So let's see the product roadmap. So what is product roadmap? So product roadmap is a simple timeline, okay, that you can see or foresee that when can be achieved. The moment actions are decided, okay, actions are decided. Now it needs some timeline, some duration, some time frame under which it can be achieved. Okay, and for that, the roadmap, product roadmap designing is the best tool. Okay, so this is one of the illustration which has talked about that there are multiple teams, team 1 2 3 4 5, and they have got some activities to be completed. One has to be completed in quarter 1, quarter 2, quarter 3, and quarter 4. Okay, so the team 1 has been given the integration of Salesforce tool, so that can take up to Q2 for team 1 to achieve. Okay, then comes the sales industry solution. Okay, the that for that also team 1 was chosen, but this is somewhere at risk. Okay, and that can be achieved into quarter 3 and quarter 4. At the same time, team 2 requires to work on the organization chart automation. So for them, it will just take quarter 2. Okay, so in quarter 1, some dependency will be completed, and then only team 2 can move towards the organization chart automation that has been depicted over here. But in parallel, team 3 can also work on the Quip Live app. This is a live app on which they are also working, and they can integrate Google Hangout chat integration with this app. Okay, but at the same time, they have been also allocated and given a task towards the Q3 to start. Okay, and that is advanced admin control they need to design. But how about team 4? So team 4 will work on one tool which is called as draw.io, which will help them to import the data. Okay, and that has to be achieved within quarter 1, and between quarter 2 and 3, they will be working on the key management system. And then for Q4, there will be developers, Lucid Chart developers API will be created by them. And then team 5 will come into the picture into quarter 3 and quarter 4, and will continue to tablet annotation and drawing. Then you might be thinking, if everyone has been allocated with the different timeline for the different tasks, then for remaining time, what others will be doing? Others will be engaged with other different work. Okay, they might not be the part of this team at that point of time when they are not given any time, and they will be engaged in some different activity of different project. It is that much clear. Okay, now this roadmap has been defined with the single bar. Okay, progress bar, and that has been put up in a map, and for how long they have been they have to invest, or their time has been invested by which team. So that is simply the bar has been kept for those timelines. So this is how, in a very simplified manner, using Lucid Chart, this has been created, and you too can create that. Again, you can create this tool even in PowerPoint, even in Microsoft Word. But as we are suggesting you, for the ease of use, Lucid Chart or Visio is a good. Okay, there are more and more such tools are there, which you can use to simplify and create it in a well manner. Any question here for the product roadmap, how you can showcase the roadmap? I'll take it as a no.
Sir,
Okay, Ruby. Yeah.
so these left hand on the top, like the green tick and the yellow, the exclamation and the red, does that have some kind of meaning over there?
Yeah.
Like what?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So here for now you can understand the green tick mark is doable easily or has been done. Okay, so has been done can be repeated. We can take some help from the past data. Okay, so warning is something which means that risk is involved. It has got some dependency on others. Okay, are you getting me? So it has dependency on other activity as well. So you cannot start it all alone until the previous act will be done. Are you following, Ruby?
Yes.
Yeah. And in the similar time, the cross is there. So cross has come with some warning, some pre-existing error that has to be addressed first, and then it can be taken ahead later. Okay, so this is how it is. But in general, it also signifies that it has already been completed, and these are some remaining tasks, and this has not started as well. So just by looking at it, because this is not complete picture, it is just talking about the product roadmap. But when you will go behind the icons, icon will have its separate representation and separate meaning, and that varies from project to project, team to team, and the means how the product owner has defined about it, or how the business analyst manager, BM manager has defined it while creating it. Now, has it given you more clearer picture, Ruby?
Yes. Yes.
Okay, thank you. So let's move
Gaurav,
to
I
the,
would like to add something here.
yes.
Okay. Yeah. So one of my favorite and easy to understand example in this scenario is one of the very known application that you all must be using on daily basis, that is Facebook. Okay. So when we say Facebook, 10, 12 years back, when Facebook, or rather prior, when Facebook was launched, it was so simple. It was just like a single page where you had very no fancy things, and it was barely you could just send some invitation to your friends, and add friends, edit friends, delete friends, and very very basic things like write on somebody's wall and all. And then over a period of time, now when you see, you can do so many activities. You can raise poll, you can raise funds. I mean, you can do anything and everything, right? So that is the way they had planned that projects, and that was their product roadmap, if you ask me. So that kind of thing we are talking about when we say product roadmap, that earlier where we stand, today where we stand, and future where we want to go. So that is the and that doesn't happen overnight. Okay, there's detailed planning, a lot of team is involved, market research, what are the customer demands, how is the product doing, what is the team strength we have. So many things are in the background, and for that this helps us, this kind of product I would say roadmap strategies, if I have to call, and then we reach there. So I hope this is clear now. If anything, anybody has doubts, they can speak up, or we can go to the next plan. Yeah.
So I have one question. So
Yeah.
like it's like team one, team two, team three. So in a, whatever the work mentioned in the column, that team has to
Uh-huh.
do only focus on that task, right? They will not interrupt in other teams' activity.
Absolutely. Okay. To answer your question, just imagine the brand Pantene. Okay. All know the brand Pantene, right? So Pantene had or rather has a lot of shampoos, and if they want to come ahead with some other I would say customized shampoos, and they have assigned different tasks to different teams. Like one team is only for advertising, one team is only for marketing. They go to colleges, they go to offices, and they go to malls and market. And their other team is for sales, who manage the sales, who look after the sales of who is selling what and how many in how many regions. So Prajakta, right? So Prajakta, you
Yes.
only tell me, all these things are specialized into their own work, and they would definitely not intervene in other, right? Because marketing guy knows his marketing stuff a lot more better than the advertising guy,
Right.
right? So to answer your
Right.
question, yes, these are simplified, sorry, not simplified. These are, I would say, specialized teams. They know what they're doing and they focus on their. Does it answer
Okay.
your question?
Yes. Yes. It's clear.
Oh, yeah, yeah. Welcome.
Thank you.
So we can, most welcome. So we can go to the next slide, Gaurav, please.
Could you continue, Brenda? Yep. Hello.
No, I can take that. Please have some, water. You have been talking from a
Yeah.
long time. So yes, I think SWOT analysis we all know, because somewhere it was mentioned in one of some of our curriculum, maybe definitely in MBA and masters. So it simply means what are your strengths, what are your weaknesses, and what are the opportunities available, and what are the threats to the in the current situation. So SWOT is stands for these all four important words and their understanding. So what we do in a typical business meeting, or in a typical detailed discussion, we have this kind of box or containers where we actually mention our strength. Okay. Now, considering this example of Pantene, because it's quite relatable to everyone, imagine what would be the strength of Pantene. Can anybody say? I just want one input from you. So what is the strength of Pantene?
Anti-dandruff.
Okay. When I meant to say strength means as a brand. Okay, I know they have many like for silky hair, for frizzyless hair and stuff. But then when I say Pantene, the answer which I am looking for is they are already an established brand, right? So that is their advantage, if you ask me. So tomorrow, if we or if myself, Prerna, if I want to start a shampoo brand or something like that in those lines. So does anybody know me as a brand? No, right? Because I'm new. But that is not the case with Pantene. They are already an established brand. So that is their strength. So in weaknesses, what will be the weakness? What you feel, all of you? Mm-hmm. No weakness.
Competition
Every
from the other
yeah,
brand, they're same
competition
brand.
can yeah, competition can mainly. I was also thinking, but it in mainly in I would say it does come in weakness and as well as in threats. But yeah, competition and second is not so happy customers. Though they have come up with so many different varieties of shampoo, but they still have not captured the entire market. So they have a lot of other markets or regions to access and to win over. So that's their weakness. They are still not able to achieve that. Opportunities, if I have to ask or if I have to think, that they have vast variety to capture, as in they can come up with children's shampoo, infant shampoos, and and more variety, maybe customizable. Nowadays in India, you have a lot of websites, a lot of products who give you customized oils and customized shampoos as per your hair's a requirement, or their hair status, or that way.
Maybe like do something about their packaging. I have problem with Pantene's like packaging.
Yeah, they yeah, yeah, they can change the packaging. And then one important thing, that they can get into organic stream, and where they can actually raise the price for 2 3 times, and they can claim that they are having organic, because this is what is the in thing today. Everywhere you see organic tomatoes, organic vegetables, and the prices are already up high. I'm not sure about there, but in India it's the case. So yeah, they can switch to the organic stream. So these are the opportunities where they can grow, they can market, they can try to capture more customers. And the threats, if you have to say, that earlier I think Sneha or Ruby, someone mentioned, the threats would be that yes, they do have competition, and then they do not know what their competitor is coming up with. They might come up with some slashed price sales. They can come up with some offers, one-on-one free, and then there can be any number of activities. So yes, assuming them as a brand, these are some of the, now these are very high level. Okay, we did not get deep down into their work because we do not know on what level they operate. So just as a third person, we could think about this. And I think you all know, SWOT analysis is majorly done on individuals also. Even when you go to interviews, you are at times asked this question. I'm not saying always. At times you're asked this question, that can you elaborate SWOT analysis for yourself? So you basically have to tell them what are your strengths and weaknesses, and opportunities and threats you feel for yourself. So yes, this is quite a more understood concept. So I try to give some relevant example. If anybody has any doubts, they can ask, or we can move to the next diagrams or next week. Yeah. Okay. Now this is one of my personal favorite, because it does look like a ship. Sorry, fish. I say ship. And it's called as that. It's very easily mentioned as a fish bone diagram. Can anyone simply say or tell me why it is called as fishbone diagram? What do you feel? It's very simple.
The
Come
shape
on.
is the
It looks
shape
like a
is like,
fish.
the way the flow is, it is like in the
It
shape
look
of a
like a
body of the
fish.
fish.
I mean,
Yeah,
Absolutely.
looks like a fish.
like a
Absolutely.
fish.
Yeah.
Fish bone.
Absolutely right. Yeah. So I really love when things are so simple like this. It looks like a fish, or rather, it looks more like a fish's bone. That's why it's a fishbone diagram. Life would be so easy if we had such kind of concepts. What you see is what you get, or what you understand. So yes, it does look like a fish, and that's why it's called as fishbone diagram. But it's one of the very effective diagrams, if I have to call. It is very easy to understand, and it's very effective. And it's also called as a cause and effect diagram, wherein it simply means that see right side, and on the right side you have a problem, and the entire intention of this diagram or this process is to identify what was the problem. What is the or other in proper technical word we say it's RCA. What is the root cause analysis? So in many organizations, whenever there's some issue happens, the first thing is what was the RCA? What is the RCA in document? What is the RCA? So it simply means if there is any issue, what was the root cause of it? How do we know what was the issue? And definitely further going, we can actually include what can be the proactive steps to avoid that in future. But to start with, what was the issue? So assuming there is a problem, so what kind of issues or what is the causing factors for that problem? Okay, so we can continue that example of Pantene, I would say, and we say if Pantene sales are not going up or if they are not increasing, what can be the problem? So now, can each one of you read out the blue box words or things that they mentioned? Those are basically the causes or types of causes. Yes.
Environment,
Okay. Next.
People.
Management,
people,
Mm-hmm. Go on. Just read everything at once.
Equipment.
equipment, management,
equipment,
materials,
material
process.
process.
Perfect. So it's environment, it's people, it's equipment, it's management, materials, and process. So this is broadly categorized into these 6 parts or this 6 factors. In your detailed analysis, you can focus on any one of them, or further of more of them. So basically what it says is there can be environmental factors, there can be issues with people or people management, there can be issues with equipment, there can be issues in the management or the how the process is going, and there can be some problems with the materials. And Gaurav, you change the slide. Yeah. Yes. And last but not the least, process. So if we have to consider that there is no increase in sales in Pantene, then we can say, yeah, it's an environmental factor. That means the current region or, the current factory setup we have, it's not ideal. We do not have the machinery, equipment, or the current region where we are serving or current area, that's not the place for market. Then we can say the people in the organization, they have not been too diligent or too dedicated or whatever, they're not following the policies. That can be a reason. Equipment, yeah, again coming back to equipment, the machineries, the kind of tools and things we have in place in the factories or in the shops or in the workshops, those are not great quality or those might be faulty, so they are resulting in not so great product. And then materials, again, yes, we have to use good quality materials. We might not be getting good materials from suppliers, or the mixing of the product that is created, the shampoo that is created is not of the as per the expectation what was planned initially or envisioned initially. And last but not the least, the two item, that is process and management, which goes hand in hand, that people might not be following the proper checklist, proper process for deployment, for development, for understanding how that flow works. And yes, in case management might not be supportive, they are not giving the organization or the factory enough funds or enough budget to go ahead with that required material or required purchase of any machinery. So just for summarization, this fishbone diagram helps you to identify what could have caused the issue. Okay, and these 6 pointers are the starting points. You can have any further pointers stating some faults, faults in some other in detail, like in material also, or you can say there is no proper research and development, there is no proper marketing or anything and everything. The bottom line, see here it says in people also you can have sub clauses. So you can have, okay, maybe the implementation team or the team doing packaging is not doing something properly, or team doing research that is not doing properly. So yeah, Lot of avenues for you to explore on this when we are in actual industry, but these are the starting point. And this is one of my favorite because it looks so easy and it is actually easy to work with as well. So yes, Gaurav, would you like to add something here, or anybody has any questions on this diagram?
So any
Rather, it's an
questions?
easy one. Yeah.
See, the simple thing is that root cause identification is the thing what as a business analyst you must master. Okay, and to that, this is a to do that, it is very helpful. That is the fishbone diagram. From problem you identify a solution. In fact, the solution is nothing but it is said that yesterday I was talking the when you were listening to DDDM, data driven decision making. Problem explained well is problems half solved. Okay, in the similar manner, when you identify a problem and you reach back the cause of it, okay, that is this is half solved, because ultimately you have to deliver what solution. You are delivering a project as a solution to your customer, and the moment customer feels some hassle while deploying that, and that problem, the moment you identify the cause of it, you are ready with the solution. Otherwise you will continue to you will find yourself puzzling out and wandering around what could be the major cause of it and what exactly as a part of fix I should be giving it to it. Okay, so imagine a child is crying. Okay, child is crying and you are bringing every time a new stuff, sometime a new toy and then other toy and the other toy, and the child is still not um, uh, means going calm. So that time you are still figuring out. Sometime you may spend hours and hours and hours and hours. The child might tired and then stop crying, and then again he can or she can restart, but still you are figuring out. And ultimately the moment you realize it could be the cause of hunger also, because of hunger also he might be crying or she might be crying, because of thirst also, because now you know it and you deliver it, and the child start calming down. So you know, but before that you have tried multiple things, and the moment as a mother she knows the kind of the flavor of this disappointment, or the kind of the way he is crying, this way identifies that he is or she is in need of this. So the mother knows it, and she delivers the such thing what calms the what makes this child calm. In the similar manner, by identifying the problem, the moment you will reach towards a solution, whether the problem has a reason because of the environmental issue. The environment could be the various environment, right? At end you always you see a product in what environment? Can someone answer? A product or application or software is usable to everyone, and that environment is called as, any answer?
Deployment.
Yeah, that environment is called as live environment or production environment. Okay, so before production environment, even amazon.com, so in which environment it is running? It is in live environment or production environment. But before that it comes into the pre-production environment. Okay, where still some trial and error and some fixes undergo, not fixes but identification of some problem undergo. So before production it comes the pre-production environment, and you must remember as a business analyst these things. And before pre-production it comes what? It comes as a user acceptance environment, which is also called as UAT, where you as a business analyst can work with business user directly at the client location, can be the bank or the company. Okay, but before UAT also comes the SIT, which is called as system integration testing. you can rewatch this segment what I am explaining over here. And that system integration testing, where a client's tester and business analyst and vendors business analyst and tester also come into the picture, and they together test it. But that system integration testing or SIT environment, before that, that remains into the testing environment, that is at vendors end, where vendors, testers and business analysts continue to use that application. But before that SIT, before that testing environment, that remains in the dev environment, which is also called as development environment, where the dev managers and the product owner and the dev team will have the access of that application. But that dev application, before in the dev environment, things come together. Before that, it remains as a part of component, and those component will remain with the individual developer, which he or she is developing it in a bit by bit, or fraction by fraction, or unit by unit, or feature by feature way. Okay, so that comes into the local machine, and that's the reason it is called as local environment. So do you see that how from a local environment it has reached to the production environment? So this segment you need to understand. In fact, you need to re-listen so that you can register this in your mind. So do you understand what all the phases or what all the environments I just now talked about? Everyone?
Yes.
Yeah, this was a
Yes.
very means useful information. You must take a note of it and you listen to it. So when you have understood from local how it has come to the production environment or live environment, local to live, this is journey from a local to live. So in that, if some problem comes into the picture, you can easily identify whether it was because of the environment or the people who were working into it, their carelessness has caused the problem, or some equipment can be some variables not well written, or some equipment, some testing does not happen well. Okay, or some process or documentation has become the problem, and some problem has been the cause caused by management. So there could be the multiple way and multiple answer. So this is what I wanted to add, and I quickly I added into fishbone diagram. But now with this addition, do you come up with any question, girls, ladies? No? Can we
No.
move to the next? Okay, so I take it as moving at the next. Let me move to the next. Okay, this is a business flow diagram. Now you see, again, as I said, that things will be from can be created out of flow chart. Again, this has been the part of flow chart as well. And what you see here is the credit department, management, sales and customers all are involved in creating and processing some sales, or some return order things. Okay, but every time what exactly happens, so how this process, so this is a process, let me read it well, what process it has been defined over here. So this is a business process flow template. Okay, so where all the involved stakeholders are that you can see over here in this bar. So customer buys a product, and what happens then, he receives he is given the credit form, as well as its order is entered into the system, and that starts with the sales call. So first sales team come into the picture, they make a sales call, and they either receive online order, or customer box in, then buy the product, credit form is generated, order entry takes place, and order form is generated, and then it has to be approved. Okay, it has to be approved, and once it is approved, then it has got some credit criteria that has to be tested. So credit check will happen whether sales is approved or not. Okay, if sales is not approved, that goes as a bad credit. Okay, but when a credit check happens and it is found okay, then it goes to account receivable and check the balance. Okay, if the balance is sufficient, okay, and high, then it calculates the credit terms, whether it fits into the credit term or not, and then credit issue is reported, and then it also checks this is in the favor of terms or not. If terms is it is in favor, then terms is approved, and that sale is approved. Even for a successful sale, there are various criteria. Sometimes for bad party it is not so. Have you heard this? Excuse me for the background noise. So have you heard this concept which is called as blacklisted customer? How many how many of you have heard this? No.
I have.
Yeah. So, and sometimes for the country it is called as a sanction as well. Thank you for your responses. So even for the global market, such checklists are there, whether it is sanction or not, or blacklisted customer or not, and whether this entire sale has to be approved or not. So somewhere we define at a minor level or major level or a grand level, we define the processes, and for that this kind of diagram you can simply make a use of it and create it. Okay, so this is called as process flow diagram. So any questions so far?
Sir,
Yes, Ruby.
what is like the major difference between this one and the activity one? Because they seem to be like.
I was also gonna ask same
Okay,
thing. They
so
both
in
look so.
activity diagram, you identify not more than 3. Okay, not more than 3 nodes. Those are, and their start and end are different. Okay, so what you see here in the process flow diagram, the start and ends are in the shape of oval, because this is talking about process. That is one. And this is the button shaped start button and end button. Okay, and in the activity flow diagram, that also always start with the circular dot and ends with the circular dot in a circle. Okay, and it has got input button, output button, and decision node. Okay, so those input button and output button defines what that simply defines something has to go inside and something has to come inside. But in this process flow diagram, what these node comes into the picture, that defines the processes. Okay, what exactly we are working upon. Okay, and the decision nodes here, what you see, this is also decision node, that but that is bigger in the shape, so not much but slight difference. Okay, so generally in process flow diagram you will find various forms. Okay, and those forms will come into this picture. These pictures are never the part of the activity flow diagram. Does it make sense? Because this is a elaborated version. However, activity diagram only identifies the action, and this identify also the processes. Okay, are you clear with this?
So what are these shapes are called?
Yes.
Okay, so like there are generic shape names. Okay, however, this what you see over here always, the rectangular shape, these are either input and output. Okay, what you see here in the form of button, these are start button and
And this is stop button. I know, but this like the credit form is written.
yeah.
What are these?
So these are nothing, but these are also called as a form button and also called as a process button. So these depicts the processes. Okay, so these are also called as a process node. Okay, and why process nodes are given in the picture? As the name suggests, we are also talking about the process flow diagram. Prerna, do you want to add something while in the answer of this?
Yes, basically, see, when there is this diamond shaped, box, when there's a, when it is mentioned credit check and also these are kind of like the
Decision
question
boxes.
or decision, decision box, wherein you have to either take a decision, you have to go this way or that way, say yes or no, which action to choose. And basically, we will come to that slide later when we have some important diagrams and their shapes and understanding. But overall, the majorly, if you ask me, the rectangular ones, the diamond and the and start and stop, these are the main ones. Along with that, because these are primarily used. So as of now, to start with, I think this much is fine. Yes, Gaurav.
Yeah. So thank you so much. So I hope I have means answered your query, but anything else you want to know in this?
No.
Okay.
No,
In
got it.
input, output, and decision nodes are most important stuff that you need to know first. And there you will see some text has to go. So some text you will find text for text entry. You will find the instead of rectangular shape, there will be square shape. Okay. As I said, the form. So form will always go with this shape. So like I have just now given you the example of the this square button or square node that will remain for the input of a text. So that is something additional I am telling you. Why I'm telling you? Because of the very same reason. Okay, like for the form I have given you. So if that is clear, then let's move to the next. Okay, so I think we are good for now, but yeah, till now any more question? So it is good to ask this question. Then if it is there, then why it is there? Remember, every time, like we started today's session with asking a simple question that is about the changes. Okay, and when it comes to the mind, it is very important to tell your mind that even mind does not want to feel awkward. Why? Because the moment it will feel awkward, it will discard any new change, and thereby it will not let you progress. The very simple reason why it will not let you progress, because it wants to survive just in a stale mode. It's a mind's work. Okay, and the moment you accept the new, adopts the new change, you will continue to excel. And when you see that you are continue to excel, mind will feel exhausted, and my mind has to work a lot. Excuse me. Okay, and that's the very reason, to avoid this all overworked and all, it wants to remain in a very safe safeguard mode, and it continues to survive. And to break this habit, you need to give it always something new. Even when you do hi-fi, anchor hi-fi, it's not
एक मिनिट चल ना.
you, it's not you who wants to
जॅकेट घाल चल लवकर.
answer it, but it's also it's not you who wants to do it, but it is also its mind which wants to make you comfortable, and that's why it does not want to come out of this zone. Okay, and that's the reason even anchoring is very start when we start with our declaration with the anchor. So if few of you don't follow to anchor, it is not just because you don't want to, but it's your mind which wants you to keep in the trap, and that's the reason it does not allow you to come out of that. Why I'm telling you? Because I'm going to give you some change today. But before I give you and announce some change, let me come back and ask you this question, because I was listening to Prajakta. Prajakta, are you still there? Yes.
Yes, I'm still here.
Okay, one word quickly which comes in your mind. I'm sure that you are into rush, I understand. So you can quickly share.
Yeah.
After learning.
I need to go through the.
Okay. Revision is the keyword you can say, right?
Yes.
So yes, call out someone's name on the picture you see. On the screen you see. Prajakta, you can take a name.
Sharda.
Yes, Sharda. Sharda did not speak today at all. So Sharda, yes, one word
Today
which
the
comes.
topics are very clear and understandable. That's the reason why there are no doubts.
Okay. And
Very
one
clear.
word which comes very clear. And just call out one name.
Disha?
Disha. Yes, Disha. One word that comes in your mind.
The information for today's session was very useful, but I still need to do a lot of practice and summary.
Yes, Disha. Useful practice and summary. Thank you. Call out someone's name on the screen.
Sneha.
Sneha, before you speak, stay tuned for the announcement at the end. So Sneha, one word.
Lot of info. There are
Lot
three
of
actually.
Okay. And to whom you will pass?
Aparmita.
Apamita, one word which comes in your mind.
Self-study.
Self-study. Okay, great. And call out someone's name on the screen, you see?
Elizabeth.
Elizabeth, what does come in your mind? One word.
I have to revisit this topic again, the
Revisit.
whole session today. Yeah.
Okay, revisit. Thank you. So, and pass this mic to someone. I know there is no physical mic, but still.
Radha.
Radha, what do you feel like saying?
Different business analysis models. I need to go through the video again.
Okay, different business analysis models, and call out someone's name on the screen, you see?
Ruby.
Ruby, yes, you have asked the question, and what do you feel like saying?
It was very in-depth.
In depth. Okay. And pass on to someone. Pass on to Tejaswini. Yes. Tejaswini, what do you feel like saying?
Too much to process. Need to revisit.
Okay, process has to be processed and there is too much. Okay, yes, revisit and call out someone's name on the screen.
Prerna.
Prerna. Yes, Prerna, over to
Yes,
you.
thank you, Tejaswini. Yes, I think all of your reactions are right. It was in depth, a lot of information to process, but trust me, these are all real life, actual, usage scenarios or diagrams or discussions what we had today. So my sincere request again, as always, please revisit the videos. That will give you a better clarity. And overall, thank you so much for your enthusiasm and brilliant questions, because so that we could shape this session in this way. So thank you so much. Overall, a superb, a session from my side, I felt. Over to you, Gaurav.
Yeah, thank you so much. So yes, see, sometime, some real stuff you will experience. I know that Agile was the fun, BA was the fun, everything we have learned so far in a very fun way, and it is becoming much more easy for you. Why do you know? Because you are revising them and you are summarizing them. Okay, so continue to do so. That keeps you feel more light and more confident towards cracking the interview. And yes, you need to work on that and continue to be the part of RRP session. And now I am going to break the monotony again. Monotony again means now, so far we were meeting on Friday night and Sunday night. Let's continue Sunday night and let's forget the Friday night. Okay, because Friday and Saturday will give you room for your own weekend. And while a mind will enjoy listening to this, okay, I have back my own weekend. Now let it engage in somewhere at new place. Let's introduce a Tuesday night instead. Okay, so Tuesday night and Sunday night, so that you can more focus towards now adding the value towards your study and let your mind know, okay, I have still the weekend. Okay, because sometimes,
so yeah, so the thought process behind this is, sorry to interrupt you, Gaurav,
yeah,
that we thought that even on Sundays, people have planned to travel, and generally Saturday, Sundays are the switch off or relax or unwind days. So we did some, not some, a lot of arrangement in our schedules, and we came up with a Tuesday night plan wherein we will meet on Sunday night and Tuesday night. And apart from the other work weekdays, you'll go ahead with your schedule, with your RRP sessions, video creation. And Saturday, Sunday, definitely you can keep to yourself to unwind, to be with family, or to revise, or to work on yourself in any other way. So I hope this works with you, because then this gives you and us both as a break on weekdays, weekends, and then we meet you on your Tuesday night and your Sunday night. That's it. Yeah, Gaurav.
so yeah, thank you so much, Prerna, for explaining this. Yeah, and always remember why we are doing such thing, because even when you will be at work, you should be much ready to understand some unprecedented changes to appear in front of you, and you will have to adjust. So if you find it in favor, you will be excited, but if you don't find it in favor, you will have sad faces. But again, when it will happen at work, what will you do? You don't have the choice. Then what will you do? When you are going to accept it, you will come up the way to arrange the other part of it. Okay, so this is what exactly you are going to experience once you also get placed. So is it clear, the idea behind it? And the days are clear now. It's a Sunday night and Tuesday night. So clear,
Yes.
the timing will remain same. Yeah.
Yes.
Thank you.
Yes.
Thank you so much. So I just wish you a very, very good night and do well. You are doing really great work. Aparmita, now it's your time. Come up with the summary. You have learned a lot, but we need to see that how you are digesting them all. Okay, so
Yes,
come up with the
yes,
summary, and yeah, so it is going to get floated gradually on the YouTube videos as well. So continue to watch, rewatch what you have learned, and don't forget to draw it. I emphasize it. You will experience the power of drawing when you will do this. Until you don't do it, you won't experience the power. You can assume that, yeah, so that it will not work, but the moment you will do, you see that how powerful it works. So thank you so much. If you don't have any question, I wish you all the very, very best in doing what you are doing, and very soon looking forward to place you at the work. So yeah, continue to apply once your resume is approved and you have done your mock-up interview. Thank you so much. Bye-bye. Good night.
good night.
Thank you. Thank you.